Hi everyone. So this is my first time live streaming on Twitch. Um, I should mention that I've been thinking about doing this for a while. Basically, I'm trying to make some kind of a remake series of some sort where you can watch me remake music. I've pretty much been doing it since the late 90s and whatnot. Um, I thought it would be kind of cool to demonstrate my remaking technique and the software I use and everything like that. So, yeah, I should also mention that I'm not musically trained at all. Everything I know about music, I have pretty much taught myself, and that goes for in terms of like musical terms and things like that. Um, so a little bit of history about myself. A lot of people may know me. I'm the one who did the music for Chrono Resurrection, that ill-fated sound. Well, I guess it was a 10 scene demo that was supposed to be made for the PC and GameCube. Nathan Lazur and I had done that back in 2004. Not to mention everybody else, Louis Martens and other people whose names I apologize, whose names escape me right now. Regardless, anyway, so I've been doing a lot of remakes in the past, I guess, 15 years. So um, the goal, hopefully, is to gain experience and to be able to make original music in the style of 16-bit music, old Super Nintendo music. Um, Anyways, without going too deep into it, I will show you how I do my thing. So I decided to go with Final Fantasy VII's Judgment Day music, mostly because it's, I wouldn't say easy, but it is pretty repetitive, and that in terms of a remake, it's not too hard to put together. Shouldn't take very long. Um, for for sake of time and whatnot, I actually put together a module already. Um, that is that's the original song that I had played or recorded off the PlayStation. So here's the PlayStation version. As you can see, it's pretty repetitive. It's not too hard to make. I think the string chords would probably be the hardest to hear. Anyways, so I have the Impulse Tracker open. Impulse Tracker is an old mod program that I used to use back in the day. I still use it now as it's one of my primary musical sources. And as you can see, I already configured most of the samples that I'll probably be using. There might be one or two missing, but we'll put those together later on. The samples were ripped right from Final Fantasy VII, the PlayStation version. Pre-tuned, pre-looped, everything like that. I did most of the work already. Um, so as you can see, it's pretty bare. There's no patterns. Everything's bare right now. Um, I figured out that this song uses a tempo of 76 beats per minute. So let's go ahead and we'll configure the song to do that. First of all, let's start with this. 76. Most impulse tracker songs will start with a speed of 6. That's pretty much 6 rows per. I can't really remember exactly what this speed's. Basically, how fast the rows play. So I keep compatible GXX. GXX is actually an effect for portamento. Portamento is basically sliding one note to another. Impulse Tracker actually handles it in a different way than the older mod programs like Schism Tracker is an Impulse Tracker clone. That's basically what I'm using here in Impulse Tracker mode. But the old mod programs like Fast Tracker and Scream Tracker, they all use different styles of portamento. That's what this will do. What this will basically do is re-trigger envelopes whenever I do a portamento. The reason I'm doing that is I think this song has a special technique in terms of its strings, but we'll have to play around later on and find out. Anyway, so let's get on with the remaking. Okay, so let's start with the synth bass. Okay, it's a little slow. So we're just speeding up the tempo to number 3. This is an effects row. Impulse Tracker only has one effects row. You can use some effects in the volume column too, but only things like volume slides and portamentos and some pitch bending. I try to avoid that because some players don't play them back correctly, but when I'm trying to do something special, that's when I'll try to use those. So SC is actually note cut on frame, or I should say row. Because my row is 3, SC3 won't do anything, so I have to go SC2. Oh. Figured out why it's playing too fast is because I don't have this configured correctly. There you go. Oh, that's not correct either. I'm going to make the first row, or the first pattern. Patterns are, I guess I should explain that. Orders are basically a list that you can play patterns back in. Patterns are the number, or where all the notes are put in. You have a number of patterns where you can make different sequences and whatnot. So, for instance, if I go like this, pattern 0 will play first, pattern 1 will play after, 2, etc. But of course I can, if I have patterns or sequences in the song that repeat themselves, I can save memory by putting patterns in sequence, like repeating them so that they will actually play again. That saves a lot of memory. Back in the day, they didn't have a lot of memory to work with, so I am going to shorten this pattern down to 32 rows. I'll explain why later. Okay, let's go for the snare now. Now there's a technique that I use when remaking Super Nintendo music and Final Fantasy VII music. I tend to cut the note before the next note starts, and that was a form of click and pop control back on the SPC 700 chip, which was the Super Nintendo sound chip. If you didn't cut the note before the new note would start, then you would hear a little bit of a click or a pop the next time another note would start. A lot of music systems did this by default. I had to simulate it in Impulse Tracker by cutting the note before. Okay, so almost sounds like the snare is louder on every beat. So let's do this. This is the volume column. As you can see, I'm changing the velocity of every note. Okay. Kind of sounds like the taiko stops on every third beat. Let's just make sure. Yeah, it does. So the taco is playing in the left speaker, so let's change the panning for the channel. We can do that for the default panning here, or we can do it in real time by using the X command, or the S8 whatever command. S80 is left, F, this is all hexadecimal, F is right, so I will use, let's try 3, and that taiko is really loud too, so let's lower it a bit. Actually, let's lower it in the instrument field. Still loud. There you go, that's a bit better. Okay. Sounding pretty good so far. It's a lot more bass in the actual recording. I wonder if the PlayStation sound chip actually does some graphic equalizing to the final part of the song, or the final sound. Anyways, let's go for the metal percussion. Okay. Now, as you could hear in the original, there was a little bit of a fade out. So I'm going to turn on my envelope. I'm going to assume that it's around 96 frames. No, that's way too long. That sounds about right. Okay. Now I can set the panning for that clang sound for each note, but I think it might be easier if I just default pan it using the instrument. So it's in the right speaker. Can't hear it there because of a bug in Schism Tracker, but if I go and play it, there you go. And we get the tambourine, 16 is a good pan value. Just trying to get the pitch right. There you go, that's good. It's a little bit quieter, isn't it? There's a little bit of an offbeat one. Okay. Let's go back to the recording for a second. Okay. Sounds like it stops every quarter. So let's do this. There we go, that's better. Now, if I heard correctly, there was also a shaker in that. Yeah, it's in the right speaker. So, got a shaker here, somewhere, right there. It's not the right pitch. Maybe it is. Let's try it, see what happens. Setting the panning for that. Pretty sure it's more farther in the right speaker than anything else, so let's go 56. And I know this is louder than on every beat, so oops. My tambourine's pitch is off. There you go. Oh, it fades out, doesn't it? Try cutting it right on the beat. That's better. What about that shaker pitch? Pretty close. Let's keep it for now. Okay, so this is why I cut it at 32, because we have triplets here. By default, these patterns are on a regular notational rhythm. You know, it goes quarter notes, there's no triplets. So to do triplets, we actually have to reconfigure the pattern. And base it off multiples of 3 instead of 4. So I have a little trick. I'm inserting a row at every single third line. I will also have to change the speed of the pattern to, I think 2. Let me try this out. Okay, so I do have it correct. However, because the speed changed, I have to change all of the note cuts. So just to make my job a little easier, I'm going to copy this. Okay, so if I did this correctly, the pattern length also has to go to multiples of 3, so we're going to end it at 48 instead of 64. Now, if I did this correctly, it should sound exactly the same as the last pattern. It did. Good. So now you have to worry about the intro. This is the part that gets a little tough because, again, I'm not classically trained, so I can't name the notes. I tried to learn relative pitch, but again, I'm pretty much an amateur. You're going to see some tricks I'm going to use to try to hear these notes. Sometimes I will slow it down. Like I'll change the interpretation of the sound, but in here what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it. Change it to 50% the speed, and we're not going to change any of the semitones. So what this should do is play the song back at half the speed, but keep the pitch. Depending on the program, sometimes it sounds like crap. So let's hear how it sounds. So obviously I chose the wrong one. Let's go to 200% instead of 50% because apparently I don't know my math. It's really hard to hear. So unfortunately, I don't have my synth sound. So here's an example of me having to get one of the ones that I ripped and then configure it. Sounds a lot like a kind of sounds like a sawtooth. That actually sounds like it right there. The thing about this that gets me don't think this is the right sound because this one's doing an arpeggio. Okay, so let's try to loop this. Hopefully I don't annoy you too much with this sound. Definitely looks like a sawtooth. Okay, now that it's looped, we have to also tune it. There you go. Let's save what we have so far. First one sounds like a B. Oh, I just lost it all. Okay, let's do that again. Hmm. Oh, I'm on the wrong pattern. That's why it's not working. Silly. See, it was so perfect that even I got confused. Okay, so SC1. Pretty sure it's the same sound, except it's just different octaves. So let's do this. Okay, so I'm cutting the sound, but as you can hear, it probably sounds like it doesn't cut. So some people might not do this, but I'm 95% sure that this is using a portamento or a legato. So let's get rid of all these and use the G command that I mentioned earlier. Sounds a lot better. It's way too loud though. Let's lower this. Still too loud. Okay, so there was an echo too. And this was in the left speaker. I'd say about 1. This is in the right speaker. I'd say about E. Okay, so I don't like that. Definitely not that sample. We'll worry about that sound after. Okay, so channel 6 and channel 7 are now dedicated to... Oh, I forgot the timpani, didn't I? I forget the timpani. Do the timpani. Okay, so the timpani, I believe, is somewhere in the right speaker. Okay. Should probably get the horn ready because I think that's the next part. Let's listen to hear. Let's hear this. Okay, it's sounding good so far. So we're going to change the speed back because we changed it to triplets. We're going to reconfigure the... I think I already did that. No, I didn't. Reconfigure the patterns to highlight the correct rows. That way I don't get confused. Okay, 6 and 7 are going to be used for that synth intro. So let's use the next, I believe it's the next 3 for the horn. Sounding good so far. A lot of the times, Nobuo Uematsu would do his vibrato about 3 beats into the note, so let's do that. Final Fantasy VII used a very quick sine wave based vibrato. So that's what we're going to do here. So this is 1, this is beat 2, this is beat 3. So let's use H. H is a deep vibrato sound. This is how fast the vibrato sound would be. So a factor of 6, and 2 would be the third one would be the depth. So we're going to try 2. So as you can hear, it's a little slow. So let's change it to A. It's a little better. Actually, I'm going to use U instead, which is an ultra fine. That way I can lead into it. That's better. Now, the thing about making video game music, especially this, is that you want to go for consistency. So the idea is to keep consistent with the kinds of effects that you're using. If you're using this speed of vibrato here, you'll want to use that speed of vibrato in other parts of the songs, unless, of course, artistically you'd want to change it. But that's also the reason why I have all the note cuts there, equaling the same thing. Otherwise, we'd have inconsistent note cuts and everything would sound messy. That middle horn sound is very hard to hear. Let's try the lower chord, or the lower note of the chord. That's how it sounds. That last note is lower. Okay, let's do these notes here because I missed them. Horn is really loud, so I'm going to lower that a bit. And here's another example of me using pans, but I'm going to use the X pan here because I need to get a little bit more fine. So let's try pan 16 on the highest note, pan, I don't know, 36 on the middle note, pan 46 on the middle note, or the lowest note. I think that'll work. This is the echo of the synth from the previous pattern. Sounding good so far. I'm just gonna save it. All right, now we get to do the strings. I think the strings are gonna be the hardest part of this song. So the strings are very hard to hear. There's some tricks I sometimes do that will hopefully help me hear the notes a little bit better. And that's because the beginning of the song is pretty much the same as where the strings are. So if I copy that and do a noise reduction, I know you can't see these menus that I'm using, but Adobe Audition has a noise filter function. Depending on how it's used, I can actually filter out sounds where they're similar or the same as earlier in the song. So if I highlight that and then I filter it out, let's hear if I can, let's see if I can hear the notes. Okay, so that's not working. Reduce by 100%. Okay, let's try this. allows me to hear the notes a little bit better. The notes cut very short. Now, I'm not sure if this song actually does the trick I was speaking about earlier. A lot of Final Fantasy VII songs will either re-trigger the notes or they'll use some kind of a legato slash portamento effect where you will go from one note and slide to the other. I'll just give you an example of that here. So you got this. This is re-triggering the note. And this is a portamento re-trigger that Final Fantasy VII used a lot. And this is where this compatible GXX command comes in. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to give the strings a bit of an attack. Now when I do this, you'll hear that the note doesn't actually re-trigger. The sample will continue to loop, but every time that GXX command or GFF command comes on, you will hear the note re-trigger because of the envelope re-triggering. So if I cut it with the volume 0, so a lot of Final Fantasy VII songs did that. They did it so that he didn't have to, Nobuo Uematsu didn't have to get multiple string samples in there, although he did use multiple string samples in different songs, like, say, Aerith's theme that actually used a different sample for its strings, or some of the synth strings used in things like Sid's theme or something like that. I don't think this song uses this technique, though. I think it re-triggers, but it does it so quickly that it sounds like it's using that technique. So let's try it without the technique, which means I'm going to have to shut off this envelope. I'll leave compatible GXX on because it's not going to matter. The only other part of this song that uses portamento is the beginning, and I'm pretty sure that synth sound doesn't have a envelope on it. It doesn't. Good. I'm going to cut the notes short because that's what it does. That might be a little bit too short. And that's not short enough. That might do it. I'm going to leave that at max volume because relative to everything else, it sounds pretty quiet. Okay, and that was in the left speaker. So let's go S8, 4, I guess. Let's hear how it sounds with everything else. Pretty close. Okay. Very hard to hear. Another technique what I'll use is stereo imagery. I will cut the center channel, or sorry, solo the center channel, so I can hear what's in the middle and nothing in the left and the right. Let's try this. Okay. Let's hear how that sounds with everything else. Very good so far. So the horns cut halfway between beat 4 and the next measure. So Okay, so let's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that last note on that beat is wrong. That should be right. Those notes still seem too short. Let's fix that. compared to the whole thing. So the notes for the strings are definitely a little bit too long. I might have to figure out a different method for it, but I should be able to figure this out. Anyways, we'll figure that out later. Don't like that chord. Sounds about right. Let's try to fix those strings. I still don't like the length of them. So I'm going to make a copy of this instrument, the first instrument. I'm going to call it strings cut. I tend to do this when I have to create a special envelope for a specific instrument. Let's get it to cut at tick 4. Now all these instruments, or all these notes are going to use that instrument. Of course, it doesn't help when I have longer notes that need to use them, so now I have to manually change the ones that are supposed to be long, like this one. The notes cut very quickly. They also sound like they don't have much of an attack, so I think I may have screwed up. I wonder. If I do that, this is a lot of tracking, by the way, just trying things and seeing if it works. So let's hear if this retrigger effect works. I don't think that's going to work. Because every time it hits the 0 points, it re-triggers the sample. Try this. Kind of works. No. I think I figured it out. Might not need these note cuts here. Volume zeros, so let's try this. That works a bit better. At least you can hear the notes a bit better. Okay, let's fix the earlier parts of the song. Oops. And because I have two different instruments playing here, I think that's going to break. That'll work. I don't technically need to put FFs in all of the G effects. Some players handle it properly, some players don't, so. And by players, I mean anything that plays an impulse tracker file. Okay. Let's do some critical listening. Make sure everything's good. We'll go into the bridge of the song. Oh, let's save first, just in case. Okay, so my string panning's all off. And that's probably because I'm pretty sure the horns actually all go to the same panning location. Let's do that again. panning on my strings messed up because I replaced everything with GFF. That's an example of where a couple of effects channels would have been perfect. You can also change the panning if you push the, I think it's the apostrophe or it's the key that's above the tab to the left of the one. I forget what it's called. Anyway, so we're going to change the panning control. Let's go 24, 30, 36. It seems to be how Mathew likes to pan his strings, so let's try that. We'll do some critical listening again. Save first, and let's try it out. Very good. So we're at the bridge now. Let's see how this goes. Gonna do the timpani. I just did the bass. So there's another bass line there that goes doot 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 doot, but it kind of sounds a little bit off. Let's try that again. not playing on the beats. So it's like, doot, 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 doot. Oh, let's try that again. Doot, 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 doot. Something like that. Let's try this. Use my last channel for it. No, too long. There we go. Doot, 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 doot. Seems a little short. Just accidentally locked my computer. Hopefully that didn't interrupt the stream. But here we go. This might be another one of those instances where I might have to make their own instruments. Yeah. It's definitely missing off the beat. Oh, there's another sample in there. Sounds like one of the synth strings. Too high. So that one's going to go with the horn. Okay, let's listen to that synth bass. Sounds like it stays the same pitch throughout the whole song. Let's hear when the note stops. Stops right at the end of the pattern. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I think I used B, didn't I? Yes. Gotta keep up that consistency. A little too high. Some of those notes are wrong. Harmonic horn notes are a little bit too loud too. Whoops, that's a pan. Whoops, that's a pan as well. And I don't think that there's a third harmonic on the horn. I think the third harmonic changes into that synth string. Let's try it. It's in the right speaker if I remember. 44 is good. It's too loud too. Good. Okay, let's try the string fade-ins. So to do a fade-in, you can use the D command. D with a number in the first field means that it fades in. D with a number at the last field means that it fades out. You can make it fine by using the F command. As you can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, but it actually doesn't sound very smooth. And that is because there's not enough resolution. So what we need to do, we can do it through an envelope by making another instrument, but I'm going to try to avoid that because then I'm going to have to do some tricks to make everything else work later on. So let's hear how they sound. Okay, I'm not going to be able to use envelopes because most of these notes are actually using portamento or legato. So it's not going to start at 0, it's going to start at 32. We're going to have to use these. Let's change the default volumes for each of these channels. Okay, this is just an assumption. Oh, I'm on the wrong ones. It's just an assumption of how it's supposed to be. We'll play around with the volume later. Sounds like the string in the right speaker isn't portamentoing. I think it's actually retriggering. So I think I'm going to keep that one the way it's supposed to. Retriggering. Okay, so let's go for the bass. Do. That's the wrong note. That horn note is very hard to hear. Let's see if we can isolate it. There we go. Mm-hmm. Whoops. Ew. Okay, so this pattern's done. As you can hear, it's very similar to the first pattern, actually. So let's just copy everything here. Okay. What pattern am I on? 8? 7 and 8. Let's hear how it sounds from the bridge. Sounds decent. I don't know if it's fading fast enough. Song is definitely longer than I thought it was. Okay, bass. Do, do, do. So when I'm doing this, I obviously get into a zone. I kind of quiet down and I analyze the music note by note. So if I'm not talking a lot, that's what I'm doing in my head. I raised the synth strings up a bit because I don't think it's loud enough. We'll do a final mixing check when we're done the song. Synth bass change? No, it didn't. Ugh, screwed it up. I think that's better. This is a half measure. Maybe not a half measure, but the pattern doesn't go with the rest of the song. So this should be a 32 row measure. Or pattern, I should say. Excuse me. They sound like they stop and re-trigger the note. Let's try it that way. Okay, let's go from the beginning of the bridge. Not too bad. But we got to stay consistent, so let's try changing some of these notes here. Whoa. Ooh, the notes changed. What? So the next pattern is also 32 rows. I've noticed Mathew does that a lot. He he will sometimes cut a pattern in half that he's using, but use another half pattern later in the song so that everything equals out. It does it in Final Fantasy VIII's battle theme. It does it in a bunch of other odd metered themes. I don't know if there's theory behind that or if he does that intentionally, but that seems to be one of his composing styles. So, just glad I caught that. Okay, now we're going to do the string plucks. Can't remember the 24. Okay. Strings are very hard to hear. I think I'm going to focus on them for the next little bit. Let's go do 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 do. Strings are impossible to hear. Let's approximate it. I know that there's no fourth bass note. So the notes are really hard to hear. I'm very tempted to cheat and look at the source from the general MIDI version of Final Fantasy VII PC. I really don't want to do that. I know some people would do it without hesitation to make it accurate, but I really wanted to try to show the techniques that I use to hear these notes if I can't hear them. So let's try this. Sounds like that. I think I got some of the notes right. Hmm. 1, 2, 3. Whoops. There you go. That's better. Mm. Mm-hmm. I am going to approximate this. I'm not sure if this is how it goes. But I think it goes. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. We are almost done this song. Okay, so it jumps back to the second pattern halfway through without using the second synth bass line. Should be easy enough. So basically it's just the first pattern with the synth bass line, and it cuts off at the 32nd row and loops back to the second pattern. Like so. All right, so let's make it loop back to the second pattern. Remember, 1 in hex is 2, I think. Whatever. No, it's 1. But it's going to loop back to this pattern here, which should do this. Still don't like that sawtooth, but I think the song is done. See if we can fix that sawtooth. Still don't like it. See if I can go into my pool of old Final Fantasy VII mods and see if I can find the correct sample. What about the Mako reactor sound? I don't think that's the right sound. It's pretty similar though. Whoa, that was loud. That was loud too. None of these sound correct. That was cool, but that wasn't the sound. Let's go back with the original sound. All right, let's critically listen to this. And this is why we critically listen. Because I don't know what happened to pattern 16. Oh, well, that's what happened. It's okay, because I think the horns are a little bit too far panned left. So let's fix that. Let's give the strings a little bit more expansion in this. And I know that the lowest string note is over here. And it's panned to the right, so let's save. And let's try it again. That was weird. I also heard that the bass string prematurely stopped, and I think that's because I have a note off somewhere. There you are. Get rid of you. Whoops. There you are. Get rid of you. So these notes were supposed to end at about the third beat of this measure, but I forgot to copy them to the other channels, so that's why the synth string and the harmonic horn kept going. So now that they're cut at the correct spot, and these ones play and ring out for as long as they're supposed to, as far as I'm concerned, this song should be done. Hopefully this will be the last critical listen, and it should be it. Let's take a listen. It's good, but I think I messed up near the end. Yeah, that's where I messed up. Okay, last critical listen now. Save our work and let's do it. Again, it's good, but I still think I messed up. That's the problem. I have it ringing out too long. It's good. Let's try this. The M command will actually change the volume of the channel. I'm probably just going to half the volume of it, so that will make it echo properly. So let's hear it. Sounds pretty close. Okay. I'm pretty confident this is going to be the last critical listen, so let's hear how it sounds. Just realized I messed something up. Huh, okay. So I'm not going to have to jump back to the second pattern. I actually have to duplicate it, change the tempo, so I can do this. sometimes it's really hard to pay attention to little things like that because you start getting into a groove and then you start noticing patterns and then you stop listening to how it's supposed to be and then start assuming of how it's supposed to be. Kind of why I kept sending out different versions of my old modules back in the day. Um, I've learned that I have to actually take the time and listen to it multiple times. You know, sometimes I can get pretty excited about how accurate it sounds or how cool it sounds, and I'm like, oh, look, I did that. But sometimes you have to actually just listen to it a few times just to make sure that you have it right. So I'm hoping this will be the last critical listen, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so the song's done. I just looped at the wrong spot, so I don't have to critically listen to that again, but I'm pretty sure it's going to loop properly. Yeah, it'll loop properly. So we are complete. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, it took a few hours. I know how boring it is to watch somebody else work, but oh, wow, it did take a few hours. I had no idea how much time had gone by. That is one of the cool things about working in music is that you can just notice things like this will always go through really quickly. So yeah, I was thinking about doing more of these. We'll find out. We'll see. If you do, let me know. Leave a comment and yeah. Also, I don't want to sound rude or anything, but I don't know if I'll be able to take requests. I mean, I have a full-time job, and plus I have music that I want to work on myself when I try to. For instance, I'm trying to get into the indie scene and trying to do my own 16-bit style music for a 16-bit style RPG. Um, so I appreciate all the positive comments. I appreciate all the requests and everything like that. It's just there's so many requests and some of the things that like I've been working with Nobuo Uematsu's music for God knows how long. So I know pretty much how it all works mentally, like in terms of technicality. I've studied the way he works. So in general, like a lot of this music is stuff that seems easy to me because I know how to make it sound like it was from the original system and from the original game. Um, all that being said, I really do appreciate all the positive comments. I mean, you guys are awesome. I cannot express the amount of, I don't know what the word is. The amount of, I'm just completely honored with what people say about me in terms of Chrono Resurrection, and even the guys and even some of the girls from the old Square channels, the Square IRC channels, Square SS Tracks, BG MIDI, Eric Hache, everybody, when they start saying that I'm the reason they got into music, and I listen to some of the stuff that they make, uh, even like Sean Laval, his stuff, it's just a complete honor knowing that I inspired a lot of the stuff there. Like even Xavier Dang, a lot of the stuff that he made back in the day, he says was inspired by me. And Xavier, I'm not gonna lie, I'm extremely jealous of you. Uh, extremely jealous of you being able to meet our long-term like idols, our childhood idols, Nobuo Uematsu and Yasunori Mitsuda, just to name a couple of amazing talents who you got to meet. I wish I was in your shoes. It couldn't have happened to a more talented guy. You are just an amazing musician, and yeah, you actually inspired me to hopefully get there one day myself. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, again, thanks for listening or watching if you did. And I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and we will see. Possibly next time I do this, I'll have more professional hardware so I won't sound like I'm talking in a bedroom. Um, kind of am. So, anyways, yes, again, thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully we'll do this again.